Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started and just allow people to join we as we go here. Welcome to Thursday morning's edition of Period 3. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat or unmute your microphone as we go. But again, this is being recorded and it will be on Google Classroom sometime this afternoon. It takes a little while to process it. In fact, I just processed first periods, so they've already got access to that presentation from this morning. So I'm going to share my screen. You all have already gotten in already to the Zoom, so this is not necessary for you. At the beginning of every school day, I'll put this announcement at the beginning of Google Classroom. So I'll just keep reusing this one announcement. Even though the date says September 8th here, it's the same information, so. And there it is again. So I added this morning. What we're going to talk about is adding pages to your Google slideshow and then having that slideshow automatically update in your Google site. I've also added another assignment down here, not an assignment, but an announcement that shows how to photograph and upload your artwork with your cell phone to your Google Drive through the school district and then put it on your web page. So, just for your information, I bought this domain name, trojanart.com. As long as you're logged into your district account through Google Classroom or any other way, as long as you're using your student ID and password to log into your Google account, you'll be able to access this website. It's closed to anyone outside of San Diego Unified School District, which is also the same for your personal web pages for this class, by the way, just so you know. So watch what happens when I hit enter on the keyboard. If you get this message, this is an error message. But if you go down here to where it says go to site home and click here, that's that extra piece of protection from the district so that only people with a sandy.net email address or a student ID login to Google Classroom and all the other products through Google with your student ID and password. So I've updated this slideshow, which is embedded in my domain name, my website address. Anytime you see a slideshow inside a Google site, if you click this button right here, it'll go full screen. I'm going to continue to show you how to add hyperlinks, but if I just click over here or hit the right arrow key on my keyboard, it'll go step by step through this slideshow. But if you'll notice, on the very first slide, it says index right here. In order to skip to this next slide, I'm just going to click on index, which is like 3 or 4 slides down. And every day, I'm going to keep adding. So tomorrow, there will be another slide in here that shows what tomorrow's agenda is. So for today's agenda, and again, this is on my website, but it's also on Google Classroom. For people who were unable to get into the Zoom meeting, this is the video that shows them how. Obviously, that wasn't a problem for the 4 or 5 of you, so because you're already in here. So one of the Google Classroom assignments shows you how to add a page in Google Sites, but I'll show you again right now. We're going to call that page Projects. Then we're going to create a Google slideshow called Sketches, and we're going to add that slideshow into this web page. And all of the videos, I'm not going to repeat all of it, but all of the videos show you how to do that. And I'll show you what the advantage of that is also. So I'm going to tab over to my, Let's see, let me escape out of this. So I created this Google slideshow. And again, there's a video that shows you how to do that if you haven't done it before. And what I'll show you is I've created another Trojan Art website specifically for this class. And I'll put this link in there too, into Google Classroom, so that you can see it. So I started out this particular Google site specifically for this class. And what I'm going to do is, normally when you log into your Google site, you see the tools over here and it'll say insert. But I'm going to click on pages. And down at the bottom, I'm going to click this plus and add projects. And click done. And you'll notice that projects came up to the top of the screen up here. If I haven't said it before, every single page eventually has to have at least two things. And I'm going to double click here to show you how to add text. So every site page has two things. Number one, tell your viewers why they're here. If I can spell correctly. Number two, tell them what to do. This is also called an action item. So every single page is going to have this information on it. Now, the home page differs from the rest of the pages because the home page describes the entire website. So for instance, and I did this, tell them why they are here. Spelled that wrong twice. 3 times. Okay, so tell them why they're here. Why they're here, I'll just add another text box down here, is welcome to my site. This is my, and then you can describe, this is my class website for art. An action item would be, go to my projects page to see sketches I've done for class. Obviously, I talk a lot faster than I can type. So when you select text like this, you can change it to slightly larger text. I'm going to select where it says project page. And I'm going to click this little insert link button. And I'm going to click on projects. And click apply. This now links to this page from my home page. But not until I publish it. So I'm going to click publish. Notice that there's nothing over here, but there's text over here. This shows me what it used to look like and what it's about to look like online. So that when I publish it, down at the bottom of the screen, I'm going to click view. And this is the actual website. So when I click here, it goes to my project page. Now here's the cool thing. I'm going to go back to my Google Slides. Again, there's only 2 slides in here at the moment. Then I'm going to go back to my editing capabilities on my website. Make sure that I'm on the projects page. Over here on the right-hand side in the toolbar, I'm going to click Insert. And then I'm going to click Drive. Since I don't know exactly where it is, I'm going to click the magnifying glass. And I'm going to type in Sketches. Because that's what I called my Google slideshow. And here it is, it comes right to the top. So I'm going to double click this. Then I'm going to enlarge this by pulling this handlebar over to the right to stretch it out full screen. And then I'm going to pull these in so that there's no black space on either side of the presentation. So here's the really cool thing. As soon as I publish this, again, it's going to show me the previous page and the new page. I'm going to click Publish. And then I'm going to click View. And this shows this Google slideshow embedded in my Google site. But here's the really cool thing. This is the part I like the most. Currently, it just says the date. This is the drawing I did this morning. Whenever I do a drawing, and one of the habits I would like you to get into is make sure to write down or copy and paste where you got the image from. This is not an original drawing. Well, it's an original drawing of someone else's drawing. And actually, one of the videos shows you where I got it and how I uploaded it from my phone. So watch what happens over here when I go back to my slideshow. Click on this slide over here on the left, and I'm going to add something to this page by going to Insert Image. I'm going to go to my drive, and then I'm going to select another image to add to this. So I'm going to click one time right here. This is an avatar I made yesterday, and I'm going to click Insert. Now, again, as I've said before, this is probably really the best thing about using Google Slides and Google Sites. As soon as I add something, when I go back here to my website, okay, so again, this is you can always tell the live version. When I say live, I mean there's no tools over here. So this one's actually on the web for everyone to see. Notice how it's not here right now. That's because I have to refresh my screen. The way you refresh your screen is to hold the Control key down on your keyboard and tap the letter R for refresh, and then watch what happens to the screen when I do this. So once again, it refreshed the screen and put me back to the first slide. Down at the bottom, I'm going to click the full screen button. And then I'm going to click the forward button on my keyboard, or the right arrow key. And that thing that I just popped in automatically updated this web page. So for a teacher, for me personally, how I run my classes, if I go back to my web page, trojanart.com, again, this is a fail-safe built into San Diego Unified School District, so I'm going to click on go to site. So what I will eventually do, where it says student sites, I'm going to click on period 3, and eventually, once I get this page updated, everyone who's turned in their website to me on that first assignment from last week, I can click here and see Octavio's page. There's not currently anything on there, but that's okay. That's going to start changing very quickly. What I've done so far in the gradebook is I've added the first assignment, which is in classwork. Create and share your Google site. If you haven't done this yet, follow these directions. This is a 4-minute video that shows you how to create your Google site and share it with me. And here's a Google form that shows me who's turned in their assignments. So what I need to do this afternoon is I need to go to my forms and click on share your site. And right here, it shows 2 responses at the top of the screen. This is what you'll fill out and copy and paste your website into here. When I click 2 responses and go to this button right here, which is a spreadsheet, I can see from this spreadsheet, oops, it created a new one. Nope, still working on it. These are students who have turned in from period 3, the websites. So I can click on this site, and I can see here that this person used, let's see, nope, they logged in. I need access. Okay, so this website was probably created outside of Google Classroom or Google Sites, even though it says Google Sites right here. What I can see in here is, and this is not necessarily information you need to know, I'm just sort of thinking out loud here. It does say googlesites.com, but this is not a district website. Otherwise, it would say sandy.net somewhere in here. So I need to contact this student and let them know that they need to redo this assignment. Even though they logged in with their student ID and password, this person did not use, let's see, I don't see it on either one of these. Anyway, that's sort of a side note. I apologize for getting a little bit off track. Let me show you what my period 1 looks like so far. So my period 1 so far, these are the students who have turned in their website. Now, if I haven't confused you really badly so far, let me go back into here. I've already shown you how to update your Google Slides, so I can close this. It's already on the web page. You'll know after every time you add something here, every time you add something to your website, click publish. If you get this message, that means that you've already published it. So I'm going to close all of this stuff. Go back to here. And here's where I'm going to end the sharing. If you've already said hello in the chat room, you are welcome to leave, but here's what's going to happen. I have already started taking attendance on my cheat sheet that I keep on my lap while I'm talking here. If you understand what I've already said, you may log off of this and begin to do your work. We still have about 25 minutes left in class. I will leave this Zoom meeting open so that anyone who has a question can ask a question. I also have office hours from 11 to 12. And if you go back to, let me share the screen again. After class today, I will put at the very top, currently we're showing this meeting, but there's also a meeting on here. Let's see. Okay, so this one says Art Office for the password. This is a different Zoom meeting. So I'm going to put that at the top of the page so that the top 2 assignments or the top 2 announcements are my office hours, which are from 11 to 12, and the current Zoom meeting, which is from 10 to 11. So once again, if you're comfortable with what I've shared, all of the information is on this Google Classroom page for period 3. So you can always go back in here and look at this. I'm probably going to add another assignment to the classwork as soon as we're finished here, so that you'll know what the next steps are. But basically for today's assignment, you're going to create a Google slideshow and add it to your web page. And then publish your web page, and then turn in your web page if you haven't turned it in yet. Does anyone have any questions? I've given you a whole ton of information so far. Does anyone who is currently here have any questions at all? If you don't feel like,
I
yes,
have a question.
yes, what's the question?
What happened yesterday? Because I wasn't here because I was at the dentist.
Okay, so yesterday's meeting, I think it was recorded. Excuse me. And I probably haven't posted it to um, Google Classroom yet, but I record all of my sessions, and sometimes they record, sometimes they don't. But basically, yesterday we're just taking one more step. Um, if you go to my website, which I'll put in the chat room, so that um, you can just click on this. Oops, trojanart.com. It has that, so you'll have to copy and paste this. It has this, you can copy and paste this into your browser and see the slideshow that I showed you a little bit ago. But basically, let's see, where's my agenda? So if you go to trojanart.com, click on index, this shows what we did yesterday. This is all of the things that I covered. Adding pages to your Google site, creating Google Slides, embedding. So today was kind of a review, embedding the slideshow into your Google site, uploading photos from your cell phone to your Google Drive. I talked about that yesterday, but this morning I actually did it. So you can actually see a video on Google Classroom. Am I sharing my screen right now? Oh, wasn't sharing my screen. Okay, so once again, trojanart.com goes here. This is what we covered, excuse me, this is what we covered yesterday. So whenever you come into my website, I'm going to replicate everything on my website up here at the top of the screen. This covers the entire week. Go to the index page and you can see what I talked about on that day. So I talked about all of this stuff, including my office hours, which are from 11 to 12 every day. I also showed you how to add hyperlinks to slides. So since I have a new slideshow, let me show you how that works in case you missed it yesterday. Well, of course you missed it, you were at the dentist. So I'm going to open up this slideshow. I'm going to click on this slide. And then I'm going to add a slide down here by right mouse clicking and selecting new slide. I'm going to call this test slide. And I'm going to call, or let's call it index. Okay, so click the word index on a page and it'll come back to this slide. And this slide will have different dates on it. So today's the 10th. Oops. So I'm going to go to this slide and click right here to insert a text box. I'm going to type in index here. I'm going to select the text and click on this link right here. Then I'm going to click where it says slides in this presentation. And I'm going to select the one that's called index, which is slide number 3. And apply it. Now the cool thing is once you create something that has a link on it like this, I can right mouse click. See how the cursor changed from an I-beam to a solid cursor? Once it's a solid cursor, I can right mouse click on it. And it's not going to let me do that. Let's try this again. Instead of right mouse clicking, After I've selected, I'm going to hold the control key down and tap the letter C for copy. Then I'm going to go to this page and paste it with control V. So that now when I present this slideshow, I can click index and skip right to slide 3. The cool thing about this is that process that I just showed you is a similar process to when you're doing your Google site. So I'm going to go back into this one. And just like I showed you on the projects page, let's see what else is on here about me. Oops. So again, I'm going to select this text here, click on the link, and click on About Me, and apply it. The other thing I always like to do is I like to make the text a little bit larger. So I usually use the subheading. For the top of the page, I'll usually use heading or title. And then I'm going to publish this. Click Publish again, and view it. And then you can kind of play around and click on the links. So this goes to the About Me page. There's not currently anything on here, but you can either use the pages up here at the top, or you can actually embed things in the page itself. I prefer to do the hyperlinks down here rather than having to come all the way up here to the menu bar at the top. It's just a lot easier to have stuff on your web page in the center of the page as you're scrolling up and down. So I'm going to unshare my screen again. And once again, I covered a lot during class today. If you don't have any questions, you can log out. I will keep this Zoom meeting open until 10:50 for another 15 minutes. But if you don't have any questions, you can go ahead and log out as long as you've gone into the chat room and said hello so that I can verify my attendance. And just always remember that from 11 to 12 o'clock every day, there will be another Zoom on Google Classroom that you can come in and ask questions either through the chat or by unmuting your microphone and asking the question. So see you later, Oliver. Thanks for saying goodbye in the chat. And we'll see you later, Octavio.
I have one more question.
What's the question? Go ahead.
Do we have homework, or like,
Well,
is that our assignment?
At this point, it's just classwork. So everything that I've asked you to do so far is in Google Classroom. There isn't really homework at this point. They're starting probably Monday, because today's Thursday. Starting Monday, I'll probably start doing a daily drawing. And I will record the drawing and put it on my Google Classroom so that you can see what the expectation is and how to upload it to your Google site. So there's not really homework per se. Right now, we're just learning how the system works. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. But like, what is our assignment today? So like, I could just get it like.
Okay, so let me share my screen again and I'll show you. Okay, so if you go up here to Google Classroom, scroll down to, so have you done your website yet?
I have done my website. I haven't done. I only have done the just starting up my website. I haven't done like the extra stuff yet.
Okay, so Now, and did you share the website with the Google form?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. So I will update that this afternoon, but the only thing you're going to add today is you're going to, let's see, stream, is you're going to add a page called projects to your Google site, and then you're going to create a Google slideshow called sketches, and then you're going and then you're going to upload an image of some sort, a sketch of some sort, either taking a picture of it with your netbook or with your cell phone, uploading it to your Google Drive, and then putting it in your Google slideshow. And your Google slideshow is going to be on your sketches page in your Google site. Does that make sense? Is that a lot of information?
Yeah, it's a lot of information, but like, how do you do that on your phone to like do the sketches, whatever? Like,
Okay,
do you
so
have to?
if you go to Google Classroom, there is a demo right here. It says 737. I uploaded this. I have an Android phone, so it might work a little bit differently than yours, but if you click on this, this is a YouTube video. And I'm just going to pause this. This is the place where I found this Jaybird image. This is actually what's called a screencast from my phone. So I'm actually taking a video of my laptop with my phone, and it shows you the process of how to upload something from your phone, a photograph you take on your phone, up to your Google Drive. So you need to have Google Drive on your phone, or use the camera on your netbook to take a picture of your sketch. And so this particular video shows you how to use your cell phone to upload an image to Google Drive. You just have to make sure that when you go to your Google Drive on your phone, that you log into it with your student ID and password. And this should show you how to do that. This video should show you how to do that. If it doesn't, and you get confused about it, or you don't understand, check back in between 11 and 12 on my open office hours and ask the question.
Okay. So I still have the sketch that I did about the drawing that we did about
the Trojan.
about the Trojans, yeah.
Yes. So take a picture of that
Mm-hmm.
and get it into your Google Drive.
Okay.
And then you're going to put that into a Google slide. And then the slideshow is going to go up on your Google site.
Okay, now I get it now. I get it now.
I'll type up the directions step by step, but I've also recorded this session. And so this session will be available on Google Classroom later on this afternoon.
Yeah. Okay, I think I understand now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably draw a diagram or do a step-by-step or something just so that it makes more sense.
Okay, thank you so much for helping me.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.